everybody. I'm Vera Stewart, and welcome to the VeryVera Show. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce my special guest, Lee Epting from Athens. And Lee, I'm so happy to have you join me tonight. And you know, Lee is not unfamiliar to people in Augusta, much to my dismay, because back in the day when I was bidding on these big weddings and everything, the next thing you know, somebody would say, well, you know, we really loved what you had to say, but we're going to go with Lee Epting in Athens. So I'm very, very happy that this whole thing has come back around, because now he's joining me to do the show tonight. So Lee, tell me what you're going to make for us tonight.
We're going to do short ribs of beef. We're going to do tomato pudding. That's a whole story in itself, you know.
No kidding.
And then we're going to do, we got to have grits. We're going to do grits. And then we're going to end up with my brandied peaches.
Oh gosh, doesn't that sound
I
awesome?
think-
Well, let's get started.
All right.
I can't wait.
All right. Well, you know, wait a minute. Before we get started on this, it is so important. I do heritage cooking. I'm not a chef, I'm a cook. And I like to tell stories. And I collect wonderful iron pots. See this Wagner pot right here?
Oh man,
Turn of the
it's
century.
awesome, and look at this.
Yeah. Now feel inside
I
of that.
know.
That is just as smooth
As it can be.
As it can be. It is unbelievable. It's seasoned. There's more to seasoning than just salt and pepper. You got to season your pot. All right, we got to get moving. Don't
That's
burn
right.
yourself
Okay,
now. That
I
thing's
know.
hot.
I'm going to grab this pot
All right.
holder right here.
Now we went over to Fresh Market and we got these wonderful short ribs of beef, and they cut
We
them.
had so much fun shopping together yesterday.
That was unbelievable. Everybody in the store was going crazy. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? All right, now we're going to take these. I've already salt and peppered them, and we're going to put them down here in this flour. And we've got our oil in here. I need a chunk of butter. Will you put
Okay,
a
let me
chunk
put
of
a
that?
chunk
Yeah.
of butter in there.
I like chunks of butter. I mean, you don't eat anything without a chunk of butter. Nor do you cook anything like a short rib without a bone in it, because that's where you're going to get all your flavor out of the marrow there.
Woo.
All right, smelling good already. And that's nothing but grease and butter going. Here we go.
Well, there's nothing like that. And honestly, these pans, you know, the other difference here, heritage cooking, you certainly weren't cooking on a digital electric range. And so Lee has put me in charge of making sure that all the digits are correct.
I couldn't turn this thing on. I couldn't make.
Look here, he cooks on the fire in the fireplace in his kitchen. In his house.
Yep,
It's
1785.
crazy, yeah. You know, he doesn't look like he's that old, does he?
And well, wait a minute. We did something for Southern Living the other day, and they were there, and I had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning, turn the air conditioning on, so I could cook on the fire.
Oh my word!
Now there you go.
That looked great. And I'm supposed to be cutting up vegetables too,
Yep,
aren't I?
we got to have all the vegetables to go in here. We've got the celery and the carrots and the onions.
And I'm going to do a little bit of spring onion too,
I
and then
love
cut up
any
some
kind
of this fresh parsley.
Yeah, that'll be great. Let me see. How you turn this thing up just a little bit?
Okay, we're going to turn it up.
Get the fire on there now.
Get the fire going.
If I were using
he's used to fire.
If you're using a Dutch oven, you'd pull those coals right up to the edge of it, not under it, right up to the edge.
Well, you know, the thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too, Lee, is that, you know, this whole idea of the heritage cooking and going back to some of the basic recipes are what brides want to have at weddings anymore.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
It's the turnip greens and the macaroni and cheese, and, you know, I think you said these short ribs are one of the favorite menu items that Epting Events does a lot.
We did 500 people the other night with short ribs.
Can you imagine cooking
That's a lot.
500 short ribs?
And you know, I was talking about using the different instruments and things. You see that fork right there?
Is that sterling silver?
That's sterling silver, antique prongs on there. And when you poke that short, it just makes you feel good. Just hold it, it just makes you feel good.
That's the truth.
Well,
and you know, just getting some of these ingredients, you know, cut up in advance when you get to this part, when you're doing it yourself, it's going to go very quickly. Now, those are the grits.
They're the grits. Now, we're going to just stir them in that boiling water right there, 4 times as much water as you put grits.
Okay, now I had the spoon out in case I had to tell you, because, you know, we got to keep moving. You and I are most likely going to talk through this whole episode, but these are going to be really thick and great.
Now, you know, I was up in New York City. They don't know.
They don't know what grits are.
They don't know they don't know they grow on the grit tree.
Oh, my word.
I picked these this morning before I came here.
Don't listen. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up and get some things doing during the break, but we want you to come back with us, because we're going to get all the vegetables included in this
Pick that up and
stock.
let me get some salt in there.
Yeah, salt
all right.
and butter.
There you
so
go.
Come back
all right.
with us. back, everybody, and if you're just joining, then you don't know that Lee Epting from Athens is my special guest tonight. And Lee, again, I'm so happy to have you here. And you know, for years, I was not quite sure about whether you were my friend or not because I was losing some of those catering jobs to you. But obviously, Lee and I have come together. We're actually partners on doing events here in Augusta, and we'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But in the meantime, during the break, we were so busy. Lee got the short ribs really nice and browned up.
Look at that.
And transferred them to this other wonderful seasoned cast iron pan. And now what are we doing?
All right, now we're going to add the vegetables in
Okay.
here. You've been chopping them up. We've got the onions.
Woo!
All right, sounds good, doesn't it?
It does.
And the celery.
Man.
And the carrot.
Are we trying to make this look healthy? With all these great vegetables?
Always. And I like.
And look at this cool bowl.
Well,
Isn't that thing awesome?
As we've been talking about, I like my mise en place, my collection of things in wonderful bowls. It's how it looks.
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
We're gonna save
we're
the
gonna
mushrooms.
save the
a little bit
mushrooms.
later.
Okay.
All right. Now where's my wooden spoon there? She got that.
We've
big
got wooden spoons everywhere.
All right. Now we're just gonna let these simmer down, and then when they get all nice
and that's all the drippings and everything that
That's
were there.
all
We haven't done one thing but
Right.
take them out, put them in another
And then
pan.
when that simmers down a little bit, you might put a little fire under this pot.
I know. See, he's leaving the
right.
stove to me.
I
Okay.
don't know. All right.
And the grits are doing fine.
Yep. Let's stir. Ooh, let's stir those.
Okay.
Yeah, they're looking
Wow.
good. They're gonna be just
This is
right.
no instant grits, ladies and gentlemen.
Like I said,
this
they're
is
right
the
off
real,
my grit tree.
right off the grit
That is
tree.
right.
Okay, so
All right.
you got me
We've
down
got
here
those.
now.
All right. Now what we're gonna do is start on our vegetables we're going to put big vegetables in here, like the carrots and all, at the last minute.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you a story
Okay.
about my tomato pudding. Now, it all started back in '95. We just won the Olympics bid, you know. It was coming to Georgia. And
There he goes bragging again.
No, well, I mean, it was just, the Olympics were coming to Georgia. I'm bragging for the state. And it was coming here, and a friend of mine up in Dalton was trying to get the equestrian things. And he had a party for all the Olympic committee, for the Spaniards and for the Italians and for the French and for the Chinese. And we gave a party for 300 people at his place. Cocktail party with all these different stations around the world. It was all fine. We had 300 people that night. That was Saturday night. Now come Sunday morning, we got to have brunch for 100. You know, no problem. We were ready for it. I got plenty of grits, no problem. Mr. Buchar comes in and he said, Lee, we got a little problem. I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I tell you, the invitation went out to all 300. I said, the heck you say? All 300, it's 9 o'clock in Dalton in 1995.
Oh my
the
gosh.
Bible Belt of the South, not a store is open till after church.
Of course not.
They're coming at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock for this brunch. I think, Lord help me. I'm thinking fishes
It
and
is
loaves.
Sunday.
It is Sunday. Fishes and loaves, what do you do? So I thought about all these things we'd had the night before. We'd had the
So this is an invention over stress time.
absolutely. And from that, one of the greatest things that we've ever come up with.
I mean, they're noted for it.
Tomato
Epting
pudding.
Events is noted for the tomato pudding.
pudding.
So you've got me tearing up this wonderful
me.
French baguette.
Yep, that's from the French party. That was left over from that, so we're breaking it up.
Okay.
And we had the Spanish party, or the Mexican party, so we had the cheese from the tacos. And then we had the leftover onions, you know, from the Chinese that we were stir-frying things with. And we had tomatoes from the Italian. Now, what I've done is I brought my tomatoes.
Y'all, he canned these tomatoes.
Yes, sir. That's
Look at
this
there.
year. That's pretty good, isn't it?
But if you don't have that, Fresh Market has their own brand, and they are fabulous.
And yesterday,
And
when
we won't tell.
When she was over there, we were shopping. She picked up, I said, just some chopped tomatoes. She got them with Italian herbs. They even better. Make the tomato pudding even better.
Okay, so we're gonna.
We had all that. And are we gonna have time to get this going?
Well, I can start adding the cheese
All
and
right,
stuff.
all right.
And in the meantime, do we need to look at that?
Ooh,
what's going on over there? Oh yeah,
wow.
Those vegetables are looking great.
Oh wow.
So now you know the history of tomato pudding, and I'm sure you had no idea that you were going to get that story. But it's very interesting, which goes to show you that heritage cooking is not necessarily a style. It's the adventure. It's the story behind the food, the pan that it's cooked in, the utensils that you use, and certainly Epting Events has got a warehouse full of these sorts of things that make your event spectacular. So come back with us after the break because we're going to get this tomato pudding going, and I cannot wait to try the peaches, candied and brandied. So come back with us. Have you ever wondered what to do when you're at someone's home? You're either having hamburgers or maybe a steak, and your favorite condiment is not on the table. You know what I'm talking about. Mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, and if you're having a steak, you know, you're probably looking for some steak sauce, or don't we all maybe use too much of that hot sauce when we're preparing our own foods, and we've just gotten accustomed to that little dab that goes on. So what's the most appropriate thing if you don't see those visible? Well, first of all, as a hostess, you should be sure to ask, do you have everything you need? Is there something that I can get you? Would you like some mustard or mayonnaise? How about some hot sauce? So please remember to do that as a hostess. But if you're the guest, hopefully you will get asked that question. If not, maybe this is the perfect time to try that steak without steak sauce, because it is embarrassing to the hostess if you ask for it and she doesn't have it. So just enjoy that wonderful meal. Welcome back, and as you can see, Lee Epting and Vera Stewart are having a lot of fun doing events together. And this is an event right here, Lee, for heaven's sake.
It
He's
is.
popping the cork off the wine.
Absolutely.
But while we were away during the break, I got some things finished with this tomato pudding, which we have all learned was a emergency get breakfast together for 300 people concoction, including all the leftovers from the night before from all the different countries that were served during the Olympics. So, Lee, does this look about right now, since this is a in-your-head recipe?
That's what we did. We just mixed it all in a big pot. But in the meantime, we've got these ribs ready. I've deglazed the vegetables that have been cooking. Man, they're looking good.
Oh, and they smell so good.
Look at that top. Isn't that pretty? The antique top.
I know.
It's just pretty to look at.
It's great.
I'm going to add the beef broth to it. Get that simmering away.
And don't worry, I know these recipes are all in Lee's head, but we managed to get them out of his head and onto our NBC26.tv website with all the recipes from the VeryVera show. So I'm thrilled that he shared the recipes with us.
All right. And I wish you the best of luck with them.
Okay.
I didn't leave out anything, I don't think.
Good. Well, you better not, because we know where you live.
All right. All right, we're going to look at that.
Oh, wow. And now,
that-
is this when I get to? Is this when I get to put the big veggies in?
Yeah, you can throw those in here. Whoa. Let me
wait.
do one thing. This Fiscus pepper, we just got it from Louisiana. They take it to the market. They grind it up.
Oh,
and
wow.
And they get to take 1/2 back, and the man that grinds it up keeps 1/2. But a friend of mine.
Interesting.
Now,
Now that is hot as fire.
And you do not pinch it with your fingers. You just pour a little bit out.
Because it'll burn your fingers.
And then you put it in your eyes, and you know
Okay,
you've done something.
if we don't have access to that, what do you recommend?
Oh, just a little hot pepper. But, you know, that's
Little
just
hot
if you
pepper,
like
okay.
it. If you like that way.
Okay, so now I'm
All
going
right.
to sprinkle.
Sprinkle those in.
This is the beauty part. This is the spa treatment to the
Look at those
short ribs. And these are the
Baby-
baby. He was so
portobello.
funny, y'all, yesterday when we were in the grocery store. He said, oh, you know, the recipe doesn't call for these baby portobellos, but they're so pretty. I said, well, just get them.
Quite that way. All right. But I did say that. All right, we're going to put our Wagner drip drop roaster in the oven and leave it for about 325, 350 for, a couple of hours.
Perfect.
All right. See what happens there. Now, if you pan up our...
And I've buttered this casserole dish, and I'm just going to dip all this in here and get this ready to go in. And then you're going to get started on the peaches.
I got to get started. Well, wait a minute. Whoa.
The grits.
I got to... You know what Georgia ice cream is, don't you? Right there. Georgia ice cream. You take... I've got some cream somewhere. All right.
Well, we can add that at the last minute before we plate it.
They're looking good. They're looking good. We're gonna add that cream to them, stir it around.
You know, this is a really colorful dish. Like Lee said, the tomato pudding is something that he did quickly for a breakfast. So when you're planning that brunch for all the holidays coming up, this would be a wonderful addition, something that, you know, is a little different from the egg casserole that everybody does.
And you know, Vera, this is good just like that. It is good cold. I eat it out of the fridge, and you make it a day ahead of time.
Oh,
it
perfect.
absorbs all that bread. You can make it a day ahead of time. You can freeze it and bring it out. It's a great
Okay, well, let's see what you've got down here with the peaches. This is our dessert, candied and brandied.
Absolutely, and I've already poured off the juice, but I can these peaches. Now, Georgia's supposed to be the peach state, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I had to go to South Carolina to get good peaches this year.
Okay, well, that's okay. We
Went
love
over
them
that.
too. We've got an audience in Aiken like nobody's business.
Well, I canned the peaches, and I bought us a little bottle of brandy here.
Well, this might be the perfect time for us to go to break because I want to know more about this brandy. So come back and join us in just a few minutes. We're going to be getting this dessert together, and Lee is going to plate everything up, and we're going to enjoy it. So come back. Welcome back, and we have been busy bees, and it's not because we were into the brandy while we were on the break, but it was because we're trying to get this meal put together, and it's just, the aroma in here is fantastic. So while we were away, Lee got into the Georgia ice cream, which is grits, came off his grit tree. We got a little bit of heavy cream
and big chunk of butter.
And you know, he just stirred it and got it just perfect. And now you're working on a simple syrup?
Working on a simple syrup. Took the peach juice and sugar and put it together, reduced it down. It's nice and thick now. And we're going to take these peaches. Now, I like fresh peaches, but this time of year, I had to, like I say, I had to can these.
These are good South Carolina peaches.
And you just put those in there and then get those covered and let them just sit there and simmer a little bit. And we're going to put a touch of nutmeg.
Oh,
now sometimes a little cinnamon doesn't hurt anything. You can't hurt with a little cinnamon. So all that's good. And let's let that simmer down. All right, now save that peach juice and those peaches for another day.
Now
the
best
do that to the last.
To the very last minute. Let's plate up
and see what we got.
So we've got a wonderful, wonderful.
Look at that.
Short rib, and with the beautiful vegetables on the top. So you could actually put this on the table with a hot plate under it and let people do family style, which we do quite a bit of that during the Masters when we work together on events, and bring it to the table looking just like that. So you want to just lift out.
Let me give you some grits here.
Okay.
And let's get put a nice helping of grits on there. They're nice and thick. They're going to hold.
Okay, now this is where our garnish to those grits are going to be this wonderful tomato pudding that we're going to put right on the top.
That's looking good.
I might kind of spill some over on the side.
Fair enough.
Wonderful.
All right, we're going to get this short rib out there. It's coming off the bone.
Oh, wow. That just looks fantastic.
Now, that is going to be unbelievable.
Now, is it time for me to get the ice cream in the bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, and we churned this right around the corner here from where we're standing, and this is homemade vanilla ice cream, and there's a wonderful custard that he used to make this, and this is just one of those great ice cream churns that you don't have to stand there and sweat to death churning the ice cream like we did when we were kids.
Well,
so
we still do it for heritage cooking now. We do it that way.
I gotta lick my finger when it's ice cream.
Fair enough. All right, our peaches are going, and we are looking good.
Oh, and I'm gonna take the lid off of this so that thing will quit making all that racket.
All right.
You don't have a fireplace speaking to you like that.
All right, let's see what happens here. I better not burn the spoon up.
No.
We got a lot going on here.
Oh, wow, there it goes. We got it lit up.
Oh, it is burning off that alcohol.
Oh, man. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, we're going to spoon a little bit of that on there. And this is one of Lee's Georgia plates, so it's got the actual Georgia University of Georgia arches.
That's got the chapel on
the
that
chapel,
one. Yeah.
and so these are official University of Georgia plates, which I'm going to be absolutely thrilled to be part of. So you promised me that I could taste this, and I really want to try this tomato pudding, so let me see. Oh my goodness. This is so good. I cannot wait for you guys to try these recipes.
When did I get a plate?
Well, you know, ladies first, you know, that's the
Fair
etiquette
enough,
tip.
fair enough,
But
fair
I just want to thank you again, Lee, so much for joining me tonight. It has been quite a delight. I know the audience has loved it. And if you want more of this individual, you need to Google black tie and barbecue, because that is Lee's TV show, and it is a riot. You're going to learn a lot. It's wonderful, so please do that. But remember, no matter what you do, and we both know it, do it in good taste, and come back and join us again next Saturday night for another episode of The VeryVera Show.